Hi all and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shani Alexis. I discuss topics of things I've learned throughout my life to help you, and today we are talking about home decor. So we are going to go over the 12 most popular interior design styles, and this will help you determine which kind of style you gravitate towards so you can decide how you want to decorate your home. The first design style that we're going to cover is called contemporary design. So you probably see this a lot in really new modern houses. I'm watching Selling Sunset on Netflix right now, and this is definitely the style that I see the most. The time period that this style is from is now and the future. This style will have a lot of glass and metals, and it's very minimalistic while also having a neutral color scheme. You'll notice with this style there are a lot of blank walls, and if there are art pieces on the wall, you typically go with big pieces and leave a lot of negative space on the walls. So if you had two smaller pieces, you would actually want to hang them very close together so it could appear more like a large piece that takes up the focal point of the wall, leaving a lot of negative space around it. You'll notice with all contemporary pieces that they tend to lean towards big and extravagant, just like the art sculptures you'll see. The big contemporary pieces tend to be a focal point in an area instead of a lot of smaller pieces. You'll also have big plants. You won't do a lot of smaller plants. You'll have one big plant that really takes your focus. Contemporary is minimalism with drama. The second style I'm going to talk about is mid-century modern. I actually have tons of mid-century modern pieces in my house, and a lot of people get modern confused with contemporary, so I wanted to have those close together to kind of explain the differences. Yes, you can mix a lot of elements from these different styles, but that's a whole other video when we're diving deep into those styles and which ones work well together. Right now, let's just focus on the 12 most popular styles. Mid-century modern's time period that it really came from was the middle of the 20th century, so roughly 1933 to 1965. The colors in mid-century modern you can really work with about anything. A lot of people do neutral looks within that style, but you can also really use bold and warm tones. A lot of that style will accent with oranges and pinks and bright, bold colors. When you look at mid-century modern furniture, they really tend to use a lot of woods, a lot of earthy elements, and they really want functional pieces. And you'll notice that a lot of their furniture has clean and simple lines. That's where you get the dresser with the legs that stick out. During that time, they were really experimenting with new materials like fiberglass. And instead of making furniture out of those new materials and making it look like all the other furniture that they already had came up with, they really experimented and made new looking pieces. And that's where you get the iconic tulip chair that you'll see. So that's a really great piece to have in your home. Any of those big white kind of egg-shaped chairs that really are iconic and make a staple piece in your home. The third style that we're going to talk about is called industrial style. So I would love to have an industrial looking apartment. It came from the earliest 20th century, they believe. They're very minimal, stripped back architectural details. So it's kind of hard to just decorate your apartment like this if you don't live in a place with these details, but it is possible, especially if you're mixing industrial with a couple other styles. This look is similar to the lofty look of warehouses. It has exposed pipes, exposed bricks. A lot of times they use recycled or salvaged material. If you're going to decorate your home with an industrial vibe, I recommend doing a polished concrete floor. That's kind of their style. It's a more masculine feel, but also really beautiful. The fourth style that we're going to talk about is farmhouse, or also known as rustic. This is a really all-American feel. You'll have a lot of handcrafted materials, distressed woods, shiplap, barn siding. My family actually has a very farmhouse styled home. This is a very family warm style that's very inviting and homey, and you'll often see the walls decorated with black and white photos, or black and white script that says things like "bless this nest," with like a distressed wooden frame. Or you can even decorate with vintage signs. I know my family has a lot of vintage signs up. The fifth design style that we're going to talk about is called traditional. This is probably the most popular design style that I see, and it actually takes design styles from a bunch of different eras and brings them together, so that they're not necessarily going in one particular direction or vibe, but it's very homey and also very family-like. For traditional style, it's really all in the details. Everything from the crown molding to the heavy drapery and curtains to the very elegant wing-back chairs. You'll see a lot of chandeliers and flowers from room to room. It's really all in the details. This style is very elegant and really speaks towards old school sophistication. You'll see a lot of influences from Old English styles. The sixth style we're going to talk about is called transitional. Very similar to traditional, but it has a few more of those modern or contemporary influences. So you're going to still have that neutral palette like most contemporary houses do, but you're going to mix in some colorful accessories. This style also really embraces texture. Think cushion galore. And then it takes things from the contemporary side and it puts them more into like decor and light fixtures, things like that. So you'll see some big contemporary art pieces in a transitional home. The seventh style that we're going to talk about is called glam. It is taken from the old Hollywood time period, and it has a lot of over-the-top, sparkly, metallic pieces. That's really how you accessorize the room. It tends to go towards neutral, but you can also do subtle pastels. You could do dark, deep walls and then brighten it up with those sparkly accessories. So when you think glam, you think over-the-top pieces, acrylic, glass, sequin, crystal accents. You see a lot of sparkle and shine. And when it comes to color, you have a lot of subtle pastels and metallic tones, but you can also do dark jewel tone walls with sparkly accents to kind of brighten it up. I see a lot of fur chairs, marble tables with golden legs, that kind of thing. The eighth style we're going to talk about is bohemian or boho. And this style you can really use any color you want. It's one of those decor styles that you can really personalize to yourself. I have some boho influences for sure in my apartment. I have this wall that has a bunch of different colored records that all kind of tell a story and have a dream catcher in the middle between them. I feel like that really embodies boho. Everything should tell a story. You can do bold colors, you can do neutral colors with little pops of slight warm tones. You can do it about any way you want. There's no right or wrong with boho, but it should feel very warm and inviting. With boho, you're going to see a lot of layering. You're going to see a lot of rugs and tablecloths and crochet, macrame, plants hanging everywhere. with the furniture pieces or just the handmade pieces that you're going to see throughout a boho styled home. They really embrace other cultures. All of their objects really tell a story, and you're going to see a lot of vintage pieces as well. The ninth style that we're going to talk about is called eclectic. Eclectic really does remind me of boho in some ways, but it's also very different. So with eclectic, you're going to have a mixture of a lot of time periods and styles, but it still all is very cohesive, even though it's a lot of funky pieces that don't necessarily, you wouldn't think go together, they end up going together. This is for people that really want to make a statement. They're not scared of bold patterns, bold colors, bold objects in general. With this style, you're going to see a lot of gallery walls, statement pieces. You really have a focal point. So like within your gallery wall, you'll see a focal point of something that stands out. You're also going to have a lot of unique art. You'll see a lot of patterns, whether that's within the rugs, the wallpaper. The furnishings are a really funky mix, but this style can be really fun. And although it sounds like you're just mixing a lot of things together, you don't want to be an amateur when doing this style. It really is something that you have to plan and make sure it all looks cohesive. The 10th style we're going to talk about is called Scandinavian. This is one of my favorite styles. You'll see it a lot on Pinterest. It's very trendy right now. It's very minimal, like a lot of these styles we've talked about, but one of the main differences is it was actually originated in Scandinavia, where it's very cold. So what they did is, because it can be cold and dreary there, they really wanted a space that really felt fresh and alive and light and airy, and that's where you get Scandinavian style. When you look at Scandinavian style, you see a lot of white walls, you see a lot of different furniture and design elements that are inspired by nature, a lot of woods and metals. It's very neutral, clutter-free. You'll see like wicker and macrame and clay pots to give it a warmer, cozy vibe. So although it is very minimal and white, it has a lot of inviting, cozy vibes, and that's why I really love it. You'll have a lot of natural light with Scandinavian style. You don't want to have a lot of curtains up because you want that natural light, airy feel in your space. The 11th style we're going to talk about is called nautical or coastal. I see this a lot when I go on vacation at Lake of the Ozarks or when you're by the ocean. This style has a lot of sandy neutrals, but it will use the accent colors red, yellow, and blue. This style is very sea life inspired. You'll see a lot of linen and cotton. Think anchors, corals, seashells. That's how you decorate. It's very beachy vibes and feels tropical. I think a lot of people like it because it's very serene. It's like when you listen to meditation music and you listen to the ocean. That's what you get when you have a nautical coastal style. Ironically, the 12th style we're going to talk about is one of the, how should I say this? You use the least decor with this one. Our 12th style is called minimalism. We talked a lot about minimalistic vibes in a lot of these styles, but this one is truly very bare-boned minimalistic. When you decorate your space with a minimalistic style, you will only use one or two colors. It's usually a very monochromatic color palette. You'll also have a lot of geometric shapes, and form and function is a huge part of minimalism. You're going to see a lot of chrome steel, glass, plastic, ceramics. You'll see stone, concrete, textured woods. Less is really more with minimalism, but those bigger pieces that you're going, like your table and your sofa, they're going to be minimalistic, but also have a solid form to them. It's really accentuating the architectural features of the space. Let's do a quick recap on all 12 of those popular design styles. First, we talked about contemporary, then mid-century modern, then industrial, then farmhouse rustic. Then we went into traditional, transitional, glam, boho, eclectic. Then we went into the Scandinavian design style, nautical, coastal, and then minimalism. I hope you learned something from this video. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. I'd also love for you to comment and tell me which of those 12 styles we just talked about is your favorite and what your home currently is decorated now. I know sometimes our home is not decorated with how we want it to. That's why it's really fun to make Pinterest boards and mood boards of how we want our style to evolve and grow over time. My style has really evolved over time. It used to be more boho and eclectic, and now it's matured a bit. It's more mid-century modern and a little bit more minimal. So let me know below your favorite style of the 12 and what your home is currently decorated. I'd love to hear from you guys. Please also make sure you're following me on all my social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. I have a blog called ShaniAlexis.com. All my handles are at ShaniAlexis, besides TikTok is Shani.Alexis, and then Facebook is ShaniAlexis blog. Go follow me there. Let's stay connected. That is all for now. Bye, guys.